Hello, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, ladies and jelly spoons, as it were. Welcome to game number 1. As you just heard, we are on Infernal Shrines. That was picked by Protectors of Shakuras. Bans are Baraxis and Sky Temple being removed by FC Hong Kong. Alterac and Volskaya, the beginning and the end of the alphabet, the end of beginnings, being taken out of there by Protectors of Shakuras. Let's go ahead and get over to the draft. Oh, I'm way low. Nope. Up here, thank you. A little bit smaller. Boom. Hello, everyone. Welcome to World Goth Day 2025. I am here to coax you into this match. We've got Blaze and Brightwing being banned out by FC Hong Kong, the Battle of the Bees, and FC Hong Kong says no bees allowed. No bees allowed. We do go and have a Mephisto and Anduin being removed by Protectors of Shakuras. Both teams choosing to remove a high-powered healer. Will we see a healer picked up first? Because with both of the heavy hitters gone, you still have Deckard, you still have Malfurion, you still have couple other very good ones. Rhaegar was not trying to go. But we do have Dehek and Dahaka being taken out, and actually no one's taking the healer bluff. Hogger comes right back, so we will have Dahaka versus Hogger. Hogger very good on the points, but then the Dehek and Dahaka coming up onto the global advantage on the side of FC Hong Kong. We'll have Junkrat coming up by Chopper. Guys, I am broadcasting, correct? Like, it says it's live, but I'm just worried that it's not actually coming through. There's no one said a word. I'm gonna check real quick, because I'm gonna get self-conscious. Go to channel. Alright, it definitely says live, so that makes me feel better. It's got a little nervous. We do go ahead and have Stukov, so we do have a healer before the second ban phase. I can't believe I forgot about Stukov. How did I forget? Now, here's the thing about Stukov, though, when you lock him. Stukov does not have access to cleanse. And so that is something that can be abused by the side of Protectors of Shakuras. We also do have Tychus coming out, which may indicate that they're looking for a big, beefy healer. Thank you, Crom. Ruh-roh. I don't know what happened. We will be back whenever we have a draft to talk about, because this conversation is secret, even though you can't really see it. We'll be back. All right, we have returned. Welcome, everyone. This should be a very, very quick open to the draft. Like, they have to take basically the same stuff. The only thing they can kind of do if they want to get squirrely is reverse their first and second bans. So we should have these lock in pretty quick, because there's literally nothing to talk about. Come on, guys. Don't make me sit here and, mock and derile you. So this was Blaze, I think it was Mephisto, then it was Brightwing, then it was Anduin, if I remember correctly. It was definitely Brightwing and Anduin. I may have it backwards who banned what. Nope, looks like I am correct for Brightwing and then Anduin. Then I'm pretty sure Dahaka was the first pick on the side of FC Hong Kong. And then I think it was Junkrat and Hogger. It was Junkrat and Hogger because I remember they both took their offlaners. And then we had Stukov lock in. I can't remember who was the other person, but we definitely had Stukov locked in. Oh, yeah, it was Tychus, yep. Now we might slow down a little bit. I think this is about where the draft was whenever we had to abandonate it. Abandonate. But abandonate. I don't know what abandonate is, but that's what we did. Varian being banned out. Man, it looks like Protectors of Shakuras just hate the Kingdom of Stormwind. Take out the boy king, then take out his old man. No, we don't want to see you. Or maybe their alliance tryhards. They're like, we can't stand to see Varian die again. It's just too traumatic. We have to keep him out of this game. Either of those is completely possible. There is always hope, but there's not always Ariel. Now, they still do have Deckard, Rhaegar, and Malfurion. There are still some pretty high up there picks for the healer, but no, they're going to take Whitemane. Let's go.
The crusade calls.
And they get, so pick me up before you Jojo. I do. Whitemane is one of those feast or famine heroes. Whitemane really punishes an engage comp, struggles into a pick comp, and struggles into a siege comp. Because, like, Whitemane can keep the entire team going, but that's really only good when the whole team is smashing into each other. When the whole team is just trying to execute one person, Whitemane does struggle a little bit more. And especially when it's just damage over time, like, damage but no engagement, Whitemane does not have a lot of good ability to heal whenever she can't get at the enemy team. Tassadar and Anubarak. So that may indicate, because the Anubarak stun into the Stukov silence, might be, but at the same time, Tychus is not a, like, dump all your damage at once. Tychus definitely likes to whittle you down. Tychus can do a lot of damage in a short period of time, but he excels at high hit points and doing lots of damage. And I was going to say Tychus might struggle a little bit into double flashlight Johanna. So I kind of like the draft from Protectors of Shakuras here. Both sides do have a global, so there won't be a global advantage there. But let's get into the game. Let's find out what's going to happen. Don't go anywhere, and I will see you in just a moment. So here we go into game number 1. Oh, let me get my cursor out of your face. You don't want to see that, I've decided. So no cursor guides and no big cursor. Nope. We do have representing the side of FC Hong Kong. We do go ahead and get Helix the Cat is playing the Stooky Dookie. Special Chai will be on the Infested Tychus. Anubarak on the Love Bug. I just said Geo on the Love Bug and Anubarak. Let me not exclude Geo from what I'm talking about. Splendid Daddy coming out here on the Dahaka. And then we are going to go ahead and have Calyrex is going to be playing the Tassadar. There's the Tassaface right there. Meanwhile, representing the side of the Protectors of Shakuras, the Dark Templar coming to help. We do have a Witchy Witch, White Mane coming out here. Arum is playing the Hogger. White Mane played by Boomer, by the way. I don't know why I keep like forgetting to say who the players are. That's rude of me. Cliff Sandwich will be on the Falstad. We are going to have Dagny coming out here onto the Johanna. And then Chopper is going to be playing the Junkrat, the Goblin Rat. That's a little bit loud, I think. Calm down a bit. Calm down. So we are moving here real quick. We're going to go ahead and Splendid Daddy. Splendid Daddy move up into the top lane. Bounce, bounce, bada, bounce. Okay, I wasn't sure Splendid would hit that. Arum really being mean to Splendid Daddy so far. So obviously Splendid is here for the global ability and for being able to move between the lanes. And can outpace Hogger, but a direct fight may be a little bit more than the doctor ordered. Johanna takes a little bit of damage. Geo goes in, but not supported by the rest of the team. Geo is starting to move down. Okay, Calyrex will be here in time to go ahead and pick up this ever-important soak. Both teams are roughly equivalent. No double lines on Joe? You are correct. Laws of Hope picked up. That really surprised me. Going into a Tychus, I really feel like against a Tychus you want double blinds. Tychus is going to be able to punish quite a bit, and you just saw Dagny's health pool just draining away. So it's a bold strategy, Con. We'll have to see if it works out for him. Dagny is still fearless and possibly more fearless than they should be, if I'm being completely honest. But you know what? We're going to find out. There is the move back and forth. Arum goes ahead, does not quite hit Splendid Daddy as they move up to the top lane. The Lightning Chicken about to get fricasseed. A special chive moves in there. Not going to quite go down, but very close. Making a statement, making an impact. But while the two DPS went up to mid lane, we do have the rest of the orange team goes into this bottom camp. Not actually taking it though, just trying to be mean to Geo. Geo will go ahead and get the heck out of dodge. And here comes the rest of the blue boys. The boys in blue. Oh, Chopper are going to be the first one to go down. Fantastic task wall coming down from Calyrex. Does not let the Junkrat get out of there. And Junkrat must have already used his Mind Leap, or just thought he could survive that. There's Dagny moving in there, but Dagny not going to be able to get anything done. There we have Geo going in, getting the stun. Boomer takes a lot of damage, having to go ahead and get the heck out of dodge, but very quick heal as they do go ahead and get the... what is that called? The punishment beam is what I call it, the Inquisition, onto the Tychus. There's Splendid Daddy going ahead and moving back. We do have, this is going to be a Frozen Punisher. Right now, FC Hong Kong does have the advantageousness. There is Hogger going crazy. A little bit too crazy. Actually got within range of these cannons for a second. Does take a bunch of damage, but does drive FC Hong Kong off the point momentarily. Chopper trying to go ahead and knock this down. You shouldn't have. I don't like the zoom out view. I like this one. No, Pat. When there's something bigger to see, I will show it. Oh, lots of damage going through. We do go and have a damage coming out onto the side of Tychus. Geo takes a bunch of damage, but the Frozen Punisher is secured on the side of FC Hong Kong. I got distracted thinking about stuff. Yeah, for actual like engagements and fights, I like to zoom in on the action, and then I'll come back here whenever we don't really know what's happening just yet. Oh, big move by this Geo. Goes in and gets a big silence. Boomer barely getting out of there. The lightning chicken will not. There's a bounce. Okay, arm going to be just fine. And they are moving in here. The front wall goes down, and the freeze does come through. But as the Punisher goes down, Special Child takes a bunch of damage. But there is that stun coming into Arum. Arum's got all dressed up with nowhere to go. Going with a dreadman, with a dead man. So it looks like we do have FC Hong Kong moving over here to go ahead and try and take out this camp where their opponents can recover. Opponents are back up. It is all 5 of them being kept a careful eye on by Geo. Oh, Geo, a Geo. I love the little skull that companies, like, I know that's just there, but in that skin, it's just like it's blue and it's black and it's, I don't know why I said blue. That's clearly green. I'm not colorblind, I promise. There's Arum coming in. Arum has to unstopple on out of there, and this will get picked up by the side of FC Hong Kong. I feel like FC Hong Kong is just like a half second ahead. Like, we continuously have Protectors of Shakuras showing up right as the objective is being taken, but like, they're not showing up while it's still being fought for. They're not showing up. They're having to rush in to try and fight for it because they're just not getting there quite on time. We do have Splendid Daddy in the middle. Some experience over here getting lost. I'm not sure whose that is. Okay, Splendid will pick that up. Obviously, these smaller globes are only worth 25% what the larger globes are. So that was still a significant amount of experience lost, but it wasn't everything, so that's good. Geo taking a bunch of damage. There's a stun coming down. Will Geo get out? The answer is no. We do have Geo getting taken down by the rubbish rodent himself. Chai actually pops the Odin. I'm a bit surprised. That seems a little premature. We'll not have that back for 75 seconds. That's over a minute. For those of you that are time challenged, both teams do go ahead and pick up their camp. Camp's going to go ahead and beat this up. And both sides, I can't zoom out enough to see both of these. They are way too far apart, but both sides picking up their camp. Now here's the thing. The shrine is activating. This will slightly favor FC Hong Kong because their camp will end up hitting into the other enemy camp closer to their own towers. So that should give them an advantage in actually overcoming it. And it looks like Splendid Daddy will stay up here anyway. But while that's happening, Geo ran into a whole mess of trouble. Arum very, very low, but will go ahead and escape. Now we are 20 seconds from Geo coming out. This may go ahead and end up being a Mortar Punisher coming out in favor of Protectors of Shakuras. They are already halfway done as Geo respawns. And it does look like FC Hong Kong said, okay, you know what? Let's not fight for that. We won't be able to engage without Geo. Let's go ahead and help our Shaman camp up here and just push as hard as we're worth. It looks like Hogger is on his way up. Here's Cliff Sandwich coming up here as well as the Mortar Punisher spawns. Mortar Punisher going to move here to the bottom of the map. There's a bunches of damage coming on through. Looks like only Junkrat is here to support. We do have the offlanders up the top of the map, and then here comes a big push. Looks like they're going to go ahead and take their opponent's camp before their opponents can respond, because their opponents are busy dealing with this Mortar Punisher and aren't able to go up there. Now, are they going to go for the invade? It does currently look like everyone's moving. It is going to be a 4-on-4 wrangle. But of course, Dahaka can show up down here at any time. And there he comes. Whitemane gets cocooned almost immediately, and that's going to be a dead Johanna, stuck on the silence puddle. Whitemane unable to help them, but there's a massive stun from Aurum. Aurum goes in and comes out, catches everyone, but it looks like Boomer will be the next one to go down. Big healing from Whitemane trying to keep Boomer alive, but nothing doing. They do go ahead and get the counter kill, but that's still a 3-for-1 in favor of FC Hong Kong as everyone goes ahead and moves in on this fight. Now we do have Dahaka up into the middle of the map, going and taking down this Khazra Impaler camp. Chai getting a little bit low, but I don't think... Falstad can't really go out there against 3 of them, especially not with Aurum falling back. Meanwhile, Dahaka is up here in the top lane, has cleared out the middle of the map. Dahaka did take Ferocious Stalker, so able to zoom around a lot more. I wonder at 16 if they'll take the extra damage. I bet they will. That seems to be that build. We're at a bit of a lull looking at the stats thus far. We do have Tychus as #1 hero damage by a country mile. And again, I don't want to harp, but I'm just saying, I feel like the double blinds may have helped with that significantly. Splenda and Aurum fighting up here. We do go to have Calatrix. Calatrix wants to be a little bit careful, especially against a Junkrat, because Calatrix has to self-root enough. Junkrat can get a lot of damage. Usually it won't be enough to throw out the mine and actually knock Calatrix out of position, but Junkrat can offload a lot of damage in not a lot of time while Calatrix is stuck in place. Throbbing, look at the calendar on the website. Now, granted, now may not be a great time to do that because we are at the end of the season and it only shows upcoming games, which I think there's only one currently. The others have not been scheduled, but the website calendar will always show you what games are coming up and whether a caster has signed up for them. The website is nexusgamingseries.org. So we do go ahead and have Helix the Cat coming through. Also, if you are in the Discord, you can also look at the Hype channel and it will show you for today what games are coming up. But if you want the full answer, look at the calendar on the website, because it shows everything. Does look like we got Aurum over here. Aurum getting this taken care of. Well, Throbbing, I'm offended. There is Special Chai coming on through. Gonna go ahead and knock down this bottom cap. Using that spread in order to hit everything. It looks like Calatrix will be down here in order to make this not take 10,000 years. Only Illidan is into that. Meanwhile, there's a big push in the middle of the map. They did pick up their Arcane Punisher, and looks like this might be the first fort of the game. I don't think that FC Hong Kong can hold this back. Goes ahead and pulls that in over the wall. Going to take out this Arcane Punisher right quickly. 70 to 17, very, very easy. So there we do go ahead and have good defense, but that will be the first Punisher of the game going down. That does mean we are going to start to see catapults spawning with every third wave here in the middle lane. I was really hoping a catapult would spawn there. That would have been helpful. There's one. I hope you looked quick. It wasn't there very long. So we do have a big stun going in. Dahaka trying to survive this. Splenda Daddy desperate. And actually, I was already calling that Splenda Daddy went down for sure. But does actually survive. Let some survive, said Sylvanas. Here comes Splenda Daddy, getting all the soak. I'm a bit surprised. I wonder if it was up, because when Arm had an opportunity to, okay, it is down, the loot horde. I'm like, if Arm had thrown a loot horde right there, could have trapped Splenda and possibly actually killed them. You know, Splenda's going on an adventure. I'm not 100% sure where Splenda is going. I think Splenda may have gone down here, been like, wait, I can't tap, gone all the way here, tapped, and then moved back up. That might have been what happened. Now you're going to have Dagny hiding in this bush. Wait, Joanna, it always makes you laugh, even though it's the correct play, but when you have the tank hiding and all of the squishier people showing. Oh, well, look at you, Splenda. I did not think there was any real chance you would get that down, but you showed me. Congratulations. We do go ahead and have the next Punisher will be a Frozen Punisher. It is more than 30 seconds out because it has not yet been announced. Dagny really likes that bush. Aram does survive that but not by a whole lot. Aram, are you sure you don't want to heal? Like, are you sure? I'm not here to tell you how to live your life. Okay, there at least is a tap. So this will be the Frozen Punisher. Is this the same position the first Frozen Punisher was in? I think it is. I think it went over there. And once again, we do have FC Hong Kong getting an early lead on this here Punisher. Oh, and I am just now noticing that this is not a best of 3. It is lying to you. Don't listen to that. Alright, and back over to this computer so I can control. There's the big red button coming down, going ahead and slamming with the strength of a nuclear arsenal. We do go ahead and have the black hole coming out. Black hole catches a lot of people, but there's the riptire coming through, going ahead and landing onto a lot of the enemy team. There's the unstoppable. Aram, super cut off for the rest of the team, but very, very low health bars, and that's going to be the first blood, of at least of this engagement, going over the side of Geo. But there's the Frozen Punisher. Frozen Punisher is secured. Oh, very, very, very greedy Dahaka, looking to go ahead and clean up some of those low health bars, but gets extinctified himself. That seems to be what happens. Like, whenever the Punisher gets taken by the side of FC Hong Kong, they get the Punisher, but they end up losing 1 or 2 people, so they can't super support it. I feel like they should have supported it more than this, though. It's not even going to get the fort. Keep in mind, whenever Protectors of Shakuras got a Punisher, the first Punisher they got, it was the second Punisher of the game, they took a fort and the front wall because they supported it, and it does definitely feel like FC Hong Kong just are like, okay, Punisher can do the work, and it especially not Frozen. Frozen Punisher is the best one to push with, but like one of the worst ones to leave to its own devices. And somehow it actually looks like FC Hong Kong are going to take the Punisher and lose their own fort in exchange. So we have the Shaman camp moving through. There is a big hearth back. I think they were worried their opponents were going to try and push up through bottom. Or more likely they were worried their opponents would move up to like here and try and stop them on the way back. But both teams are now staring each other down across the abyss, across no man's land. You shall not pass. Yeah, I like this decision. I always like to see teams that will go ahead and move into bush ganks and try and, like, move into positions that their opponents will take. The only problem is that, like, They moved here, but there was nothing pulling their opponents up to here. Like, there was no camp up here to take. The camps were down here, so there was no actual reason to think their opponents would come this way. Looks like we're going to have a trade out, but keep in mind, all 3 forts for FC Hong Kong have now gone down. Only 2 forts for Protectors of Shakuras. However, they are going to have to do something about this. We've got a Khazra Impaler camp in the middle of the map. We've got an Khazra Impaler camp at the bottom of the map. I do like that, except for Falstead, they did not try and move down through here. I didn't mean to track that. I'm sorry. So both teams really respecting one another. This will be a mortar shrine. Now, here's the problem for Protectors of Shakuras. The mortar punisher is the best one to push with, and also their opponents are already set up around the point, and it definitely feels like when FC Hong Kong are here and ready, their opponents really have a hard time moving into here. Splenda is ready for the flank here. Everyone else is posted up around the purpose or around the position, but none of them are actually showing yet. Nice move by the Task Star. Now here comes the Dagny. Dagny getting isolated by that, but there's the very nice double stun from Aram. Cliff Sandwich moving forward. Splinter's Daddy in the back does go ahead and get a tongue onto that delicious turkey. And Chopper takes a bunch of damage as Dahaka moves in, tries to mess up that Riptire. Riptire does not get a lot of value because of the quick moving Dahaka. Aram takes a bunch of damage where they are slowly moving back and forth in position. Dagny in the backline trying to go ahead and blind with their single wave. There's a bunch of damage. Dagny very close to silence, does touch it for just a second. We do go to have Splenda looking for this, does not get a tongue on anyone just yet. And 22-18 slight advantage for FC Hong Kong as the battle continues. They are moving in here real quick. We do have, oh, nice triple silence coming out. There is going to be the cocoon onto the white main. No healing on the side of our orange team just yet. And there is the water punisher. That time the Riptire connected, but we do have a mortar punisher. It is now basically a 5 versus 6. There is a nice stun onto Boomer. Boomer is not getting out of here. White main cannot heal herself quite enough. It's Morton time! Yeah, Chopper, I was really worried that the Mortar Punisher would actually jump onto Chopper because Chopper was a little bit close to the gate. But no, thankfully, Johanna did take that leap. Mortar Punisher down to about half health. Here's the problem, and this is why you want to defend the Mortar Punisher, because it will prioritize heroes. Because otherwise, it will just drop mortars on whatever's nearby, which is oftentimes a building, and it will do a lot of damage onto that building. We do go ahead and have this moving through. Dagny stepping forward, the Mortar Punisher goes down, but the top keep is down to about 55% health. Bunches and bunches of delicious damage coming through. There is Aram. We do have a wind tunnel blowing across as well. Completely immobile FC Hong Kong. And this will be a lot of kills. That's going to be 1 kill, 2 kill, 3 kill, 4. Okay, maybe just 2. Maybe no more. But maybe more. So there's kill 3. Dagny looking for this Dahekan Dahaka. Will not find it, however. Meanwhile, while this was going on, the middle keep went down. I did not actually even notice that. I'm embarrassed to say. I only had eyes for the fight in the top corner. Splendid Daddy trying to hold this off. We do have Arum moving in. The shields are still up. Arum's in a bad position, having a hard time getting out of there. Does go ahead and walls away, but there's a bunch of damage coming on to Splendid Daddy. Splendid going down. Tastar trying to hold this back. I don't think they can end. They're only about 10 seconds away from 2 more reinforcements. Dagny taking a bunch of damage, but the paint is scratched. The shields are down, and we are down to 60% health. A bunch of damage getting in here. This will be unrepairable and you know what? Shut my mouth. They've got it, and the core goes down. Game number 1 does go in favor of Protectors of Shakuras here on Infernal Shrines. So looking at things, we do go and have hero damage. Number 1 damage was that Tychus coming out with that minigun. Does it tell me how many stacks he had? I didn't think it did. I hate that In the Rhythm doesn't show me stacks on the screen. It makes me super I shouldn't say super upset. Let's not oversell it. But we do go and have number 2 damage was Calories coming in with that Tassadar. 74,000 damage, and then 65,000 coming out of that Arum. In terms of healing, we do have Stukov significantly healing the White Mane, which that's actually super relevant because keep in mind the top 2 damage dealers were blue. The top healer was also blue. Usually you see that inverted. Usually you see the top healer being the team that took more damage, but at the same time, White Mane is a burst healer for team fights. Stukov is a much better healer in terms of raw numbers, but doesn't always have the healing there whenever you need it. So this is not surprising. It doesn't say anything against Boomer. And then we do go ahead and get in terms of that side soak. Tahaka does outsoak the Hogger a little bit. Hogger wandered a bit more, or more correctly, Tahaka could burrow in, so Tahaka didn't have to leave as early. Talents, that seems generous. Copy them down, take them to Stormly, get all of the epic and amazing games. And I will see you in game number 2. And if it pleases thee, also game 3. Hee hee. Here we are in game number 2. As you can see, game number 1, why did I not use my other arm, I don't know, was won in a surprise comeback by Protectors of Shakuras. I'm not going to say Protectors of Shakuras was losing that game. Like, it definitely felt there were slightly more kills on the side of FC Hong Kong, but the push pressure for Protectors was a little bit faster. There was pressure in the mid lane that had opened up a win condition, and they took it without hesitation. We have the Blase being banned out by FC Hong Kong, and once again the Anduin banned out. Will we have Brightwing, or will we see something else? Inquiring Rakas want to know. My name's Raka. And of course, once again, happy World Goth Day 2025. I'm going to have to keep saying that so I can help people understand why I'm dressed like this. Like, I'm always goth, but tonight I'm goth. I heckin' went for it. I say as I look around, seeing my colors up here. I don't see it though. I may have put it away. But we do go into Murden. So this time, no Brightwing banned out and no, what was the other one that was banned out? Because Diablo and Murden are definitely new. Johanna is taken by Geo first and foremost. Does not want to give that up to the Protectors this time around. I can't remember the third ban. Hello, Monkey. So Varian was the third ban last time, going to be taken now, and then Aram is sticking with that Hogger. Really, really, really likes the Hog Wild Hero. So we do go ahead and have, on the other side, before our second pan phase, we will see Vala being locked in, as well as Ariel. There is always hope. So this time, it looks like slightly more attention paid to the tanks, and both sides already have a tank, so I don't expect to see any tank bans at this point. Neither side, although Hogger's been picked up for an offlaner, so it's possible they'll take out a offlaner that they don't want Hogger going into. Meanwhile, there is the opportunity for a healer ban on the side of FC Hong Kong. They have Ariel, their opponents do not yet have their healer. You can always just focus on a DPS though, and indeed, we do have Junkrat being banned out by the side of Protectors of Shakuras. Wasn't Junkrat on their side last time? That's always interesting to me whenever someone bans a hero they took, rather than a hero their opponent took. But obviously, people can play the same heroes, it's a thing. We do have Stukov being banned out, so they do go in and try and lock down those healer options. Ooh, interesting. We do go with the Malfurion and the Li Ming. So Malfurion is definitely a counter-engage healer. Very, very good at, like, the thing that he struggles with is burst comps, because all of his heals are over time, and so if someone just really piles the damage on, Malfurion can't keep up. But especially if his team is like falling back, and Li Ming is a great siege hero, so if they keep like at a distance, then Malfurion is a great no. You don't get to move in. Now that's a nice counter pick. Splendid Daddy, especially with those Ghost Wolves that can heal. Like, okay, Thrall's going to be the offlane going against Hogger, so that may not be as relevant. It's going to be Tassadar and Vala. Neither of them are great at super, like, they can't really outrange the Ming necessarily. But if Johanna goes down and gets a stun with like a falling sword, they can move in and get a wall and cut off escape. And then Vala just is a damaged dump truck. But here we go into game number 2 here on Tomb of the Spider Queen. Look forward to it. Tell me who you think is going to win. Tell me who you think is going to lose. And I will see you in game number 2. Adieu. Or a few. Was a little bit late in getting that moved in. So with that taken care of, we do go ahead and have moving into game number 2. Representing FC Hong Kong over here on the blue side of the battlefield. Special Chai will be playing the Vala, Geo onto the Johanna. Calatrix is going to be on the Tassiface. We are going to go ahead and get Helix the Cat onto the Ariel. And then Thrall down here at the bottom lane being played by Splenda Daddy. Meanwhile, on the side of Protectors of Shakuras, we do go ahead and get Boomer coming out here playing the Malfurion. We will get Chopper onto the Li Ming. Cliff Sandwich is going to be onto the Falstad. Dagny is playing the Varian. And we do have Hogger being played by Aram once again. Nice, nice, nice move back by Splenda. Very, very quick moves. And there, went ahead and got onto... Oh, Chopper, Chopper, Chopper. That may be the wrong way to run. I think that was a panic teleport because suddenly there was the Thrall coming out of the bushes. We are moving into here. Thrall going into the bottom lane. There comes Aram, moving right on down. Just apologize if I'm a little low energy. It is now in quiet hours at my apartment. We've passed the 10 o'clock point, so I have to kind of be like mutely excited. So we do go and have Caldrix down at the bottom of the map. Going ahead and burning this down. Burn it down! No answer on the other side just yet. Splenda staying here, keeping an eye on Cliff Sandwich. Looking for an opportunity to go in, and there thinks they have it. Nice prediction! Boop! There's the bounce back and forth by Hogger, and Boomer going in and picking this up. Dagny takes a good bit of damage, but will go ahead and survive. Survive the onslaught. Splenda goes in and takes this down here. We do go in and have Vala does go with Creed of the Hunter. Vala has not gone down yet. Li Ming has, and Falstad has. I guess I didn't need to say that. There's been no kills on the side of Protectors of Shakuras, so of course Vala hasn't gone down. We do have Lion's Maw up to 9 stacks out of 25. No, Postman. We talked about this last time. No. Fine. Alright, there's Geo coming in. We are moving back and forth. Both kind of like moving up. We do have the Sleepy Roots coming out onto Johanna. Unstoppable is used in order to go in and get this taken care of. Dagny moving back as Geo starts to move in, but no actual aggression. I just legit, I don't understand why do you want to see this? What is interesting about this part of the map? Like, I like to keep it a little bit closer to the actual action unless there's a reason. Like, if people are posturing up for a engagement, I'll move back out to this camera or even this one. But I'm like, I think it's a lot more interesting to actually see the movements when you can actually see the movements. But hey, because Postman wanted to, we definitely need to see this push of these minions up here for some reason. That's relevant. Okay, bunch of damage on the Dagny. Oh, slight. I feel like they called for the wall and then used their ability, just sort of assuming the wall would be right there. There's a bunch of damage on the Dagny. Geo goes in and takes a bunch of damage. Oh, well, that's easy to fix. All right, Aram and Splenda still going back and forth. I noticed Falstad has not come back down here at the bottom of the map because definitely got hit, and we do have the blue web weavers being secured. Here is Dagny taking a bit of damage. We'll go ahead and escape. I guess I can stay out of this range until something's actually like big happening. I'm just giving you a hard time, Prostman. So we do go and have the big push happening up at the top of the map as this goes in and gets knocked on down. We do have, we're knocking on level 10s for the side of FC Hong Kong. There's that unstoppable, stops the Sleepy Roots from being Sleepy Roots. And we do have this moving in. I always hate whenever they use the Wave of Death onto the invulnerable building. I wish they would like make it so that the spider would not target invulnerable targets. That's a little frustrating, but meanwhile down here there's no one defending bottom. Splenda is getting to push in for basically free. But while I'm moving around, we definitely have this getting knocked down. So it looks like that's going to end up being... I mean, Baha has definitely cast more than I have, but I have a lot of experience, and I am proud to say I am one of the only professional observers in Heroes of the Storm. I get to say that because I've been paid to do it. Boom. I have a little bit of pride. So we do have this moving on. It does look like we're going to be picking up this camp on the side of Protectors of Shakuras. Meanwhile, the Thrall goes in and picks up the bottom camp. Going to use that to continue to push in. Now Hogger is going to move down here in order to try and go ahead and get this taken care of. I imagine minimal damage will be done, although Splenda does move in here to try and make Aram's life difficult. Thrall did go ahead and take Ancestral Wrath, so we'll be able to go ahead and drain out 15% of Hogger's life at any given point. Not really at any given point, but it's basically impossible to track how many stacks Thrall is on if you're Aram, so you never quite know when it's going to happen. But it does look like we've got actually coming in here a bunch of damage on the Cliff Sandwich. Dagny going to be aggressive on a little bit. Will go ahead and get back, but charges right back into the fray. There's the pull in, and we do go and have the Ming Orb coming in from long distance, but it looks like this middle web weaver is not long for the wall. Dagny goes ahead and pulls back in, trying to go and get this taken care of. There goes down the web weaver, not going to get any damage done. There is a line of arrows coming out of Special Chai as we go and try and get this taken care of. We do have the stasis landing. There is the gust to push back the enemy team. And Tranquility comes out. Oh, Calatrix might be in a little bit of trouble, but we'll go ahead and survive that. Meanwhile, we do get the movement back up to the top of the map. This will get taken care of. Here comes Dagny and Cliff Sandwich, but the rest seem like just a little bit behind. Just a little behind. And actually, those spiders did basically nothing. The top wall is at 25%. Both towers are strong. The mid wall is untouched. The bottom wall is down and the tower's at 50%. But compare that to the keep or the fort being gone. The wall being gone. And the wall being gone in one of the towers. So we do go and have Dagny moving back and forth. Chopper going ahead and landing into this. A bit of rotation. Malfurion a bit behind this could be a problem. They don't see it coming. I was like, if they moved right here, they could catch Malfurion in the back of the rotation. There is Geo. Nice pull in on Cliff Sandwich. And there is the stun. Trying to go in and get into this, but it looks like a bit of miscommunication as to who the target was, because Special Chai came out to the bottom. A lot of damage on the Boomer, trying to get this taken care of. Dagny gets knocked into the wall, and that's going to be a dead Varian right there. Someone get Anduin in here because the Crown of Stormwind is up for adoption. Meanwhile, Arum is here at the back of the bottom of the map trying to go and get this taken care of. But meanwhile, the last spider butt is being turned in, and here comes some blue boys. No, it was actually for DreamHack. So we do go ahead and have this moving on in there. That's going to be the middle fort going down. Lots of damage onto Dagny. That is it. Oh my gosh, the false head goes down even as they gust away. Boomer moving up there. This might be a problem though. Boomer goes in, tries to get those. Okay, will actually survive. Nice placement on that entangling roots in order to make sure that we don't end up actually like having Boomer going down. It would be a tragedy for Boomer to get all of these spider butts. Only actually got 11 though. I feel like there were a lot more of them sitting there. I used to have a clip, I don't know if I can find it still, but I used to have a clip of Baja complimenting me on my observing. I don't think he actually knew it was me at the time, but Baja was doing commentary for DreamHack and was just like, and this observer is doing a really good job, and I'm like, hey. So do go and have this being turned in. They don't quite have enough for a turn in. It looks like Protectors of Shakuras do have exactly enough for a turn in. FC Hong Kong only actually like 4 spider butts away. All right, not going to quite get that bottom one down. We now do have a full turn-in for both teams. It does look like the FC Hong Kong are going to try and go ahead and secure this camp first. I was going to say, where are all their gems? I don't see them there. And yeah, they're up with Arum. Bunch of damage on this Dagny. There is the stun. Big gust to get out of the way, but Dagny gets rooted, and that's going to be boop. Let me be careful, my boop is really loud. I need to stop booping so booping loud. There's that getting turned in, and another wave of the blue boys are coming in. We do have the Bruiser camp as well pushing forward, so this is going to be a very strong push into mid lane. The Spell Power camp is going to be joined by the Web Weaver, and this is really smart. They're actually taking out the waves, because what will happen is that this guy should go until he meets an enemy hero. So if you can keep like knocking the heroes down before he gets there, not quite here, he got there right when this guy was still alive, but because obviously the Web Weavers take damage over time just by existing. They're not like the Garden Terrors, which actually need to auto-attack. I believe I just saw Johanna's shield come out, so that will not be available. Ended up not getting the connection it needed. Wave of Death goes in and comes out, but that is all 3 forts for the side of Protectors of Shakuras down. FC Hong Kong on the advancement. Electric Fence does come down. Traps Cliff Sandwich. Cliff Sandwich has to barrel roll through the danger. And there's the first keep of the game. As Alarak would say, because I love this voice line, your keep has been taken. Oh, the irony. My English major heart just adores that. And we are at level 18 for the side of FC Hong Kong, but it looks like we may have an engagement. There's a taunt coming down. Unstoppable onto Johanna. There's a black hole, goes ahead and pushes Dagny away. Boomer a little bit too far forward. There is the Unstoppable, and that's going to be a dead Hogger. Boomer still up in the middle of everything, and Splendid Daddy looking for that. We'll go ahead and get the kill. We do have Chopper going ahead and knock. And there's another Blessed Shield coming out. Dagny unable to get out of here, and that is a 4-0 in favor of FC Hong Kong. That might be the end of the game. They can go straight through the top lane. That looks exactly what they're planning to do. No, they're going for boss? I guess their opponents are only down for 30 seconds. It's still somewhat early in the game. All right, with that being taken care of, we're back into the center lane. They're going to let boss push and be like, you guys have to respond to boss. If you respond to us, then you will lose your core. They're just going to use that to increase the fort pressure. All right, Geo down to about half health, but there's another great shield coming out. Dagny has no health left and actually gets taken out by one of those spinning hammers. Meanwhile, we've got Hogger bouncing around, but Hogger, oh no, Hogger gets bounced back right to where the Falstad was gusting the rest of the team. Obviously not intentional, but Falstad definitely sealed that Hogger's fate. But you know what? Karma is a B, and Falstad gets taken out immediately after. GG is called by Geo, and they are correct. As the core goes down and we are to a 1-1 series, the series has been reduced now to a best of 3 going forward. Reset. With that said, looking at the stats at the end of game number 1. Oh, that's a stat line. The number 1, 2, 3, and 4 highest damaging heroes are all on the blue team. Special Chai leading the way with 44,000, Splendid Daddy with 37, and Tassadar with 34. We do have, in terms of healing, basically a dead heat, slight advantage for Ariel, 48,000 to 45 over the course of a 16-minute game. So actually, I guess that's a 3,000 difference, so well done, Helix. But not well done, Boomer. Again, I talked about this at the beginning. The big problem with Malfurion is that he does not handle snap healing very well. He is much more for a poke comp, and the entire game, we just had 16 kills to 0. Our blue team was very, very good on getting on top of people and just executing them. Which is how you do with a Malfurion, to be sure. In terms of experience, we do have Thrall out-soaking the Hogger by about 3,000 experience. We do end up at level 20 to level 17. Talents, here they are. Take them, copy them down, get all of the amazing and epic victories. And I will see thee in game number 3. But if you're eager for more, stick around for 4. Hello everyone, welcome to game number 3. As you can see at the top, we are at 1-1. Even series, y'all. The best type of series. I'm always eager and waiting for more games, don't you know? So we do go ahead and have the bunker. The Blaze coming out. Blaze is only a bunker to me. Dun, da, 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 dun. Alright, looking at this, we do have Sylvanas being banned out. That's new. That is a character we have not seen banned before. Obviously, they want... The problem with Sylvanas is that every time you win the Immortal, it basically becomes a frozen Immortal, which is not really a thing, but it becomes a thing. So not going to be in our game. And when banned out, they don't typically ban the Brightwing, but they do get rid of the Ariel. Now here's the big question. Will we have a snap pick Brightwing? At least in the past, even with a lot of healer bans, they don't take it. And in this case as well, Calyrex going ahead and getting Li Ming first and foremost. Dun, 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 dun. They're really thinking about this. Okay, I was going to say, are we going to get random picks? But we do have Brightwing being picked in. And then Cliff Sandwich will be on the Hanzo. So Hanzo versus Li Ming. Both of them want to keep their long-range options open. So Chai once again on the Volo. Volo worked very, very well for Special Chai in the last game. So I'm definitely here to find out what they're going to be going with this time. And then there's that Muradin on Geo. Okay, between this game and the next, I need to go refill my drink. I can feel it. Is Hoku even here? So they do get rid of Stukov. I don't dislike that one. Stukov has been instrumental, and we know it's a healer that Splendid Daddy enjoys. So triple healer ban coming out of the side of Protectors of Shakuras. I gotta say, I don't love FC Hong Kong locking both their DPS early on. Like, that's where the most of your damage comes from, and it really lets your opponent sort of like respond to the way you're going to play. Okay, well that's not Artanis, but that is a character I didn't expect. Dahaka isn't banned, and Chin really, really struggles in anyone with a stun. So Chin does well into like Leo, but can struggle into like a Sonya or a Dahaka. Anyone with a base kit stun? And there indeed is the, oh, it's Helix as the healer? I don't know why I thought it was Splenda. Lucio, that's not what I was expecting. Lucio is going to make it a little bit more difficult for Anub'arak. Obviously, High Five will disable the Anub'arak stun machine. But here we go. Going into game number 3. We've got FC Hong Kong on the blue side, Protectors of Shakuras on the red. One more time. Battlefield of Eternity, the battle between heaven and hell. Let's get into it. There we go. I'm like, where are they? Representing FC Hong Kong, the Federation of Ferocity. We do go and have Special Chai is going to be playing the Valalala. Calyrex is going to be on to the Li Mingers. We're going to have Helix the Cat playing the Audio Medic. We do go and have Geo playing the Hairy Dwarf. They're all hairy dwarves, aren't they? Malfurion? Malfurion, no! Muradin, different M hero. And then we do have Splendid Daddy onto Sonya, the Death Knight Sonya. Though not the correct skin. The one without the helmet is better. Yeah, I saw it. Meanwhile, representing Protectors of Shakuras, the Principality of Punishment, we are going to go ahead and have the Boomer coming out here on Brightwing. Genji is going to be played by Chopper. Cliff Sandwich coming out here onto Hanzo. And then Dagny will be playing the Anubarak. Up in the top lane, we will have Aram on Chin Stormstout. So I say, as soon as that spear gets used by Splendid Daddy, Chin is basically free to bully for a bit. Oh, I'm not sure how often Splendid Daddy's gone into a Chin. There we go. That's what I was looking for. I'm like, because you need to interrupt that drink, and the only tool that Sonya has is the spear. Now let me go ahead before Postman yells at me. Oh, and we actually, I don't know if you guys saw that. I think I got here, but I wasn't actually paying attention yet. But there is a kill onto the Anubarak. Looks like they went in on Geo, but the DPS output from Calyrex and Special Chai was better or more ready. And this will get picked up on the side of FC Hong Kong. Now Dagny is back. Oh, nice orb. Now that's the thing, like Li Ming and Anubarak have a very, very interesting interaction where a lot of times some of Li Ming's orbs and shots can actually get blocked by Anubarak's beetles. That was really smart. I don't know if you guys noticed that. So what Dagny did there is Dagny stopped their charge right here in order so that Vala's repeating arrow would have more targets around, because once it locks onto Dagny, it was following Dagny up. And if Dagny had been... Yeah, not gonna get out of that one, my friend. If Dagny had come up here, it is slightly more likely, because I'm pretty sure the puncturing arrow has been changed to prioritize heroes. So yeah, fire and arrow deals 164. Yep, I thought they changed it. It didn't use to prioritize heroes after the first shot, but it does now. So if Dagny had come all the way up to here, it would be more likely that it would have been killed, but Daddy saw that and came up right here. Unfortunately, did still end up going down, but you know. Team Diablo up here at the top. Getting that taken care of. Meanwhile, we do go ahead and have a camp in both lanes. Does look like Splendid Daddy's going to stay up here and get this camp taken care of before they move on. Although I do actually think that they could leave. The Impaler camp does actually beat the Shaman camp. Now I've got Cliff Sandwich over here trying to get this taken care of, but by far the faster race being for the blue team, because the blue team was actually there. A lot of members of the orange team went to the bottom lane in order to clear out that Shaman camp. Immortals fighting.
We stand victorious.
So there's the Immortal coming top lane. We already have the Sonya down at bottom lane, but the Chin actually came up here, which does mean the Sonya will be pushing unopposed. Aram's super low as well. Does go ahead. I thought Aram was drinking. I'm like, you should get to safety, my friend. And Aram will heal up thanks to the healing waters of the Moonwell. But we do have one of the towers already down. The Immortal is into melee mode as the wall falls.
Thus ends my assault on hell. I must rest for a time.
But it does look like the entire wall bottom and both towers get taken out. The wall gets taken out top and one of the towers, the other tower down to about a little less than half health. Bottom camp is up, but needless to say, Sonya can't really go and get it without Aram noticing. Now, Sonya has taken a Poison Spear, so going for the Spear build most likely because they know they'll be dueling into Aram a decent amount, and you can eventually get some extra talents that make Spear happen a little bit more often, which makes the Poison even more valuable. Dagny takes a ton of damage. Oh, the Brightwing barely. Geo jumps in there, but both tanks have to fall back. Chopper going in there. Chopper will actually get Geo down. Almost pays the price himself, but will go ahead and survive. Oh, Boomer, you also need to not be there anymore.
We immortals shall return before long, heroes.
Splendid checking this camp. No one on it just yet. This camp will be up in 57 seconds, so they may get it between before the second phase or right before the immortal spawn. Aram probably suspects this is happening, but may have actually seen people moving down there. It's like, well, I can't stop that. So we're moving in real quick. We do go ahead and have the big movement onto the side. Cliff Sandwich and Chopper trying to go ahead and get this taken care of right quick.
I must find another way.
Alright, we do have a roughly even halftime. I don't know that racing is the play. There is Cliffstand. Now that's the thing, because Hanzo can do very good damage, and it does seem like the Orange Immortal is going down just a little bit faster, even with Boomer and Nubrak trying to delay. It is going to be Ilarion going to be triumphant.
Our triumph brings order to this realm.
Good job on them picking up the health globes. That's 8% health, 8% mana, and 4 minions worth of experience. So no reason not to try and grab that real quick.
Burning hells atone for their sins. I will bring down the gates of hell.
Dagny takes a decent bit of damage. 2 kills to 1 in favor of FC Hong Kong so far. I gotta say, this Sonya's been doing a really good job. Keeping both Immortals so far have gone top lane, because Sonya just keeps pushing bottom. Although I guess actually the first, like Sonya was top at the beginning, so it's only the second one that, but still Sonya did more damage basically by herself than the first Immortal did. Splenda going to move up here and try and go and get this taken care of, but it looks like we are gearing up for a battle up here in the top lane. But keep in mind, Brightwing is bottom. I don't know if Brightwing nope, Brightwing definitely has teleport because they're using it right now. There's Geo leaping into danger. Geo gets cocooned. There is a stun coming out. Chopper, fantastic move by Chopper. Chopper just continues to not be where all the damage is. I wanna be where the damage is. That is not a song that Genji sings. Bunch of damage coming to Dagny. Dagny does not have the evasion skills. Oh my gosh, and Splenda getting out of there with like 100 hit points. Chai as well. There's Chopper going for it, but nope. Chopper ran in. Apparently the natural predator of the cyber ninja is the sorceress. I did not know that, but I learn things every day. So it does look like FC Hong Kong has taken both of the camps, pushed bottom. Now this camp's going top. They're not pushing with it. They're mostly getting it off the map so that as the Immortals come in, their opponents have something to worry about. That will prevent Cliff from moving in right away. And these are defensive postures. There's a big leak coming in from Sonya. Aram goes ahead and takes a bunch of damage. There is the Wandering Keg. Also a cocoon coming down onto Geo. There is a arrow coming through, but does not quite hit anyone. Team Shimada trying to go ahead and take out FC Hong Kong. But it's actually going to be the Cyber Ninja that goes down first. bunch of damage onto Dagny. Dagny goes ahead and just taken out just a little bit before Brian can get there. So despite a very good early engage, we are up level 13s for FC Hong Kong. And it looks like halftime will be triggered in just a sec. Gio going in, going back for get some lovely, lovely mana. And now we're in offensive positions. So this is a very healthy Immortal going to the bottom lane, most likely. Yep, we do have it going down bottom lane. Now here's the thing, this is decently pushed. I don't know that Sonya actually wants to go top, and it looks like they decide no. That would be a little dangerous. Like, they could just pick off Sonya and come down. So Sonya does make the wise decision to come down here to the bottom of the map. Do a 5 fingers to a punch. And they are looking to punch down this fort. There's the second fort for Protectors of Shakuras going down. Ah, this is my first time mispronouncing it. I don't know why that got stuck in my head, but it does. Ook. Now Dagny going in, taking a little bit of damage. Gio moving in, they're looking for something. This will take down the mini wave. Aram comes into the backline, trying to go and get this taken care of. There's a big stun onto Aram. Aram does get stunned again by the Stormbolt. Dagny gets caught by the Valalala, but does go and get Vala Cocoon for just a moment. Does not quite get the first keep of the game, but does get the wall. Now here comes a big engagement. Aram coming in there. There's the stun, and this will get picked up, but will Gio get out? That is the question. Gio does go ahead and use Dwarf Leap, but here comes Dagny. Nice move. Okay, I don't know if you guys saw that, but the Anurak was just about to burrow in, and then Li Ming used Wave of Force in order to knock to the side and like cancel the burrow right as it was starting, and that... I'm not saying Gio would have gone down either way. I don't necessarily think that's true, but the Wave of Force did definitely prevent the engage that the Anurak was trying to do. I gotta say, Wave of Force is an interesting talent. Very often I see Li Ming's go Disintegrate against Cocoon, because it just basically instantly pops it. There's that EU arrow sailing across.
I will reach your position shortly.
We are moving back and forth. We do go ahead and have... the blue team is in position around the enemy Immortal. Once again, it does look like... Now this time they're not clearing, they're just taking the Shaman camp, but they're not there quite when they want to be. And so this will be a lead in the race for the side of FC Hong Kong.
It is time for change and strategy.
All right, Li Ming trying to go in and get some arrows. Does go ahead and think... Like, that was a very, very good attempt to go ahead and get the arrow on Li Ming and pick off, because Li Ming is the primary damage coming out against this Immortal right now. All 5 members of Protectors of Shakuras down here trying to go and get this taken care of. And Aram once on top of this, but fantastic jump in. Went ahead and locked down the Hanzo. Now there is a cocoon around Sonya. Sonya will get out of it. There's Dagny using up the burrow. Might be a mistake. Like, Special Chai is like, ooh, this is what you call a target-rich environment. Now we are down about 30 seconds until another Oh yeah, the high five, definitely. I don't. Ming would not have gotten out of that arrow if the high five hadn't like let her move.
The heavens shall triumph this day. I will bring down the gates of hell.
There's a bunches of damage. There's the first keep of the game going down. Blue team putting themselves in a position to potentially be able to win, but they are even talent tiers and none of their opponents are down. We do have X Strike back up. All ults are up for the enemy team except for Cocoon, which I think was actually just used. There's a kill onto the Valalala. Wandering Keg going ahead and bouncing back and forth, going ahead and just completely not giving Splendid Daddy anywhere to go except back to the Hall of Storms. Although as I say that, nope, Splendid Daddy does go down. They have lost their healer, however, so it's still a 2-for-1 in favor of Protectors of Shakuras.
I must rest for a time.
Aurum is being super gutsy, but there is Chopper coming in as well, and does actually get the Li Ming. There is the poison coming down. Aurum, yep, will be able to drink himself to health. Now this might be a bit of a problem, like this is starting to go the other way and this is going straight into keep. I don't think this will be enough to beat the keep by itself, but someone will want to come down here before too long. Especially if this gets picked up. And right now they're trying to push, they're not, okay, Brightwing is coming back here, good. This will be the first fort of FC Hong Kong falling.
Red team has destroyed a fort.
And now they are very, very eager to keep the momentum going. They're taking their opponent's shaman camp, so that will not be up in order to push against them. However, this does mean that they've all moved here. None of them are at the bottom lane in order to try and push back that Kaosha camp. Someone's going to have to go that way. I think Aurum is on their way. No, they're actually going for... They might end up trading a fort for a keep for this. I do not know that I agree with this decision. Because here comes the damage. Okay, Aurum is on the way. Oh, that catapult could not get in range. That is actually critical. The catapult got stuck.
There is no escaping my justice.
Are we going for a back door right here? If we are, we probably shouldn't have run straight into the enemy, wave. There is Dagny. A big stun comes out. That is just a immobile. But there is the leap as soon as someone can move again. Lots of damage. That's going to be a Lehman going down. That's a lot of the damage for FC Hong Kong. Not around anymore, but, Protectors of Shakuras have lost their tanks. Splendid Dice takes a bunch of damage, moving around very erratically, trying to keep Chopper from getting on top of them. And there is Chopper. Chopper down with less than 100 hit points, but there goes the healer for... Oh, that's interesting. That must have been Poison Spear that actually finished off the Brightwing. And we're going to have a kill on to Chen as well. That is 3 for 2 in favor of FC Hong Kong.
Red team's core is under attack.
Now Hanzo is moving over here, trying to go in and get the... Nope. He's going to go back and protect the core. Just kidding. Special Chai, it's all on you. Come on, Vala. Vala did take a Monster Hunter, so we'll be relatively decent at this.
Be warned, allies. I move to new ground.
All right. Offensive positions, which is better for FC Hong Kong as they try and get this taken care of. Chai going ahead and just fully unloading their arsenal.
Our glory radiates through this
To the surprise of no one, we do go and have the Immortal going bottom lane because there's actually still some defense down here. Not very much. That keep is going down on 100%. The only thing that would keep that keep from going down at this point would be if the entire red team disconnects and the game is just declared over. Blue team, I don't know why I said red team. There's not a red team in this game.
Red team's core is under attack. Blue team has destroyed a fort.
So there, as promised, is the lower keep going down. All structures are down for Protectors of Shakuras. There's Helix Cat moving in, trying to be a little bit mean to Chopper. They are looking in there. The keep is down to 34%. It has been beaten on before. And I'm pretty sure this is the end of the game. There's no way. And there it goes. Game number 3 does go in favor of FC Hong Kong. If this was a best of 3, it would be over, but it is not. We've got at least one more game coming up, hopefully 2. So, looking at this, we do go ahead and have, in terms of damage, 66,000 damage coming out of Special Chai, Calorix coming out with 57,000, and Splenda with 48. In terms of that ever-important healing, we do have Helix the Cat leading the way, beating out the Brightwing, 72,000 to 65,000. And then, of course, Splenda Daddy on the experience contribution does outsoak the Arum. So just blue victory all the way across, 15 to 7, which is at least a much closer game than last time, where we ended up just having basically a blowout. It does look like the teams will be having a bio, so they let me know. Hopefully they let their opponents know as well. Talents, here they are. And I will see you in game number 4. It will be a little bit. Get up, eat some snacks, drink some water. Hydrate before you dehydrate, and I will see you in about 5 minutes. Welcome, welcome, welcome to our fourth and potentially, but hopefully not final map. This is always a little bit like concerning for me because Towers of Doom is the epic map that you use to end an epic series because it is the most comeback horrific map in the map pool. And so if you want a nail biter of a match, this is where you go to. But this is the fourth game, not the fifth. So FC Hong Kong is basically making a statement that they are ending it here. This is the map you end a series on. We'll have to see what Protectors of Shakuras say about that. They have taken first ban this time, and they will be banning out la 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 la. Yep, Calorix, find a different heckin' hero. And that's what they have to say. Or actually, no, I think it was Chai that took Vala. Blase continuing to being the FK or the FC ban. We do go and have a Decken Dahaka being banned out. I do not blame... Dahaka is probably the best hero on this map. Other than... Now, here's what you have to be concerned about, because the other really, really good hero on this map is Hogger. Dahaka's speed boost, one, just lets him outsoak everyone, except a Hogger that's really, really good can actually get his spins to bounce between top and mid lane, and can actually keep up with a full-speed Hogger, or full-speed Dahaka, but it's very difficult to do. There's not a lot of players that are good enough to do that. Because you have to, like, it's not pixel perfect, but it's really close to pixel perfect. And you have to be very, very, like, instinctual in getting that to happen every single rotation. So we do go and have Junkrat being the first pick by Chopper. Once again, using the Goblin skin. I do actually really like the Goblin skin, if I'm being honest. There is always hope. So Helix taking Ariel. Now Ariel is like did get nerfed a little bit, but is still one of the top tier healers. And then Geo getting back onto the Joe. The Joe-O. I tried to put Geo and Johanna together. The Geohanna. So no tank and no healer. We will potentially want those locked in before the ban phase if we don't want it to be unfairly focused upon by your opponents. What will we take? They do go and take the Hogger now, and then now we've got Protectors of Shakuras doing the thing I complained about FC Hong Kong doing, locking both of their DPS before, like in the first part of the draft, which really, really, really lets their opponents craft. Because seeing these two means you're not going to really have much of a dive comp. You're going to kind of try and stay at a distance, and that's really going to let FC Hong Kong choose their heroes accordingly. We've gotten rid of Anduin, they get rid of Brightwing. Ariel is picked up. And there is still Deckard, there's still Stukov, Malfurion, Rhaegar. And we always can pull out the White Mane. I don't consider her top tier, mainly because of the difficulty in using her. But we've already seen her pulled out for one game, and it was actually the game that Shakuras won. So there's a Chromie, it's a Chromie got banned. Oh, now that is interesting. So is that going to be an offlane Samuro, or is that going to be a pest Samuro? And then we do go at it, so they are going to answer. You're going to try and stay at range. We feel like we have the range game better. And to be fair, Li Ming is really, really good at range. I think Junkrat outranges Li Ming, but Li Ming is less telegraphed. So it begins. And we do have the Varian coming out. So we're going to have Varian with pot support. Hogger going up against, I guess, Samuro? That's a weird one. This might be a 1-1-3 coming out of FC Hong Kong. Because Samuro is good, but I'm not positive Samuro can double soak. I've never tried. With Windwalk or with Blade Dance probably can. But I do feel like he will get outpaced by the Hogger. But we're going to find out. We're going into game number 4. Everyone, put on your most hopeful faces. Try and make sure that Protectors of Shakuras wins because I want a game 5. I'm very, very greedy about this. I don't care about who wins the series, but I want to cast more games. Here we go. Get ready. All right, and here comes game number 4, representing Protectors. Sorry. Actually, you know what? Yeah, why not? Let's do the opposite order. Representing Protectors of Shakuras, we do have Cliff Sandwich playing the Falstad once again. Arum going to be on the Hogger once again. Chopper on that Junkrat once again. Dagny is on Variant. I think that is actually new. And then Boomer is going to be playing the Old Man Deckard Cain. Meanwhile, representing FC Hong Kong, trying to close out this series with a win, we do go and have Samuro being played by Splendid Daddy. We do go and have Geo coming in on the Johanna. Special Chai going to be playing the Ariel. No, Helix Cat on the Ariel. Special Chai is on Tracer. Misclicked. And then Calorix is going to be playing the Lee Mingers. Alright. A little bit of damage on Detective. Keep in mind that Varian is not a real boy yet. Nice damage, nice knockback on Special Chai. Special Chai goes down to about 50% health. The same as Varian, but Varian with half health is way less gankable than a Tracer at half health. Where's my mouse? A Varian at half health still has 1100 hit points. A Tracer at half health has 600. But I say that a Variant at half health is now a Variant at no health, and that's going to be First Blood over to the side of FC Hong Kong. Now, Hawker is winning the Soap War so far. Does go ahead and knock this down. Calorix is not leaving mid because Samuro is not as... Now, I feel like this might be the strategy they're using. They're going to keep Calorix in mid, kind of poking in as stuff goes on. Come down in order to fight for this when the time comes. But otherwise, Samuro is just going to push no matter what. But maybe not. Recap my water? Why would I do that? I know I don't have time to unscrew it during a cast. Oh wait, that's right, because I live with cats, and I know what will happen if I leave it uncapped. Alright, going and getting this taken care of. Both sides have a camp. We are right at level 4. Varian is now a real hero. Alright, I was going to say, is Chai going to fight Arum? I don't know that I recommend that. They are kind of staying up here. This is going to be the obvious and, of course, first triple altar. Every single game on Towers of Doom starts with triple altar. Chai is coming back down here to the bottom. Go ahead and move on back out. Now we are going to have Stroll of Identify only up 1 stack so far. And I'm not stacking that too well, but Gathering Storm already up to 13 stacks out of 30. And then we do go ahead and have Repeated Offense, just picked up by the Ariel. Yes and no. I know it depends on how good the Tracer is. I know Mockery always said that Varian is not a counter to Tracer, but that Mockery is one of the best Tracers, in NA. So that may not mean as much, to the average person. Varian probably just completely obliterates Tracer.
Like all the others. Yes, heroes, activate the towers.
Yep, Varian's trying, but that's kind of what we're talking about. If you can react and save a blink for Varian's charge, then you can get away pretty consistently or make him charge out of position. Because unlike like a Butcher's charge, Varian can't cancel his charge, I don't believe. Once he clicks it, you can just kind of pull him to wherever you want to. It's really funny, actually, on like the rocket ride return for Junkrat. If you can be at max range when you're on the special rocket ride mount and Varian charges you, the two of you like move at the same speed, and you can just run all the way back to your core, end up back at the Hall of Storms, and then suddenly Varian is just stuck. I won't say. I mean, he won't charge through a wall. So if your like wall is still up, then that will stop him. Well, Teal, that's correct, but that's assuming the taunt gets off. We're talking about if the reflexes are good enough and you respond to Varian's charge, then taunt can't come out because the charge, you know, doesn't complete until you're well out of position. I have discussed the old lore with Mockery. Alright, there is Dagny. Does go ahead and, oh, we do have Tracer coming in the back line. Tracer going ahead and getting some damage onto Cliff Sandwich. 28 to 36. We do have definitely an advantage on the side of Protectors of Shakuras, at least right now. But of course, this map, advantage does not matter. There is Geo. Geo takes a bunch of damage, and that will be the first blood for the side of Protectors of Shakuras as Johanna goes down. Oh. 24 out of 36. We now have 3 times. We have 1.5 times as much health on the orange core as we do the red core. I had to do math real quick and it was difficult, and I was sad. That's a lot of experience just being left behind. Meanwhile, down here in bottom lane, we do go and have this moving back and forth, forth and back. Alright, nice root coming down. Dagny does not have a lot of health. Obviously, level 2s are out. We just saw the Disintegrate come out of Calyrex. They're going ahead and moving into this, doing all the damage they know how to do.
Once more, the altars rise from the depths.
There's a faux real in chat. Hello, hello. Calyrex is moving up towards the top of the map. This will be split. I think that Splendid Daddy's goal right now is to just be very mean to the Hogger. Hogger will get out, but... Oh, no, everyone's coming up. I feel like the Super Smash Brothers reveal. Everyone's here! There's Boomer. Boomer does going to get that turned in, so it's going to be 4 for 4. We are now 20 to 32. But no longer 1.5 times the core health. That reminds me, when I was a wee little rockling, my dad told me a story from when he was that age, and whenever my dad was 8, his brother was 4, and my dad got really frustrated that whenever he was 12, my brother wasn't 6. He was like, how come you're not half my age anymore? All right, good bit of damage. We do go ahead and have those going down. We are right at the edge of. Oh! That was a decision. I actually thought Tracer went down. I thought she teleported into the Riptire. Man, Boomer getting hit. This is where you know Calorisi's use that a lot, because Ming went right here and shot through here. So there was very little warning of the shot coming in. In that story, at least, I should tell you other stories. He is a lot less wholesome in other stories. Alright, Splenda coming in, but Splenda very split off from the rest of the team. There is Dagny coming in. Sorry about that, I had to sneeze, and so I had to mute the mics like super fast. I think I made it though. We do have Varian going down, but both the tank and the healer going down the side of FC Hong Kong. This will be a turn-in for Chopper. Turn is probably the wrong term, but there's Colorix. Bye-bye. And we are down to 16 core health. Hey, we're back. We're now down to double core health for the side of Protectors of Shakuras. I did it again, Shakuras. Dang it, Junkrat. I like Junkrat, but his voice lines are so obnoxious and so, like, much louder. I feel like I never hear anyone else say anything when I'm observing, but I always hear Junkrat. We are moving back and forth. The soak continues. Roughly even in terms of experience, 3 kills to 4. We're both about 25% of the way to level 16. And our penultimate talent tier. Oh, Cliff Sandwich takes a bunch of damage. There's the Incinerate coming out of Li Ming.
The time is now, heroes. Claim the altars in my name.
There is Dagny coming in. There's Junkrat the Jukerat, and they get another turn-in down to 8. Now their opponents do suffer their own turn-in. They did trade, but it's 8 to 28. That is, I'm not doing the math on that. That'd be 4 times as many. It was 4 times as many until the shots landed. Took us down from 32 to 28. I want to say 3.66 repeating. But that's a guess.
Heroes, I have opened a tunnel near our core above the ground center. Use it well.
There's that opening up, but we are reasonably close to the end of the game. We do go and have a Dagny taking a good bit of damage. There is Geo going along the back line. Geo is kind of trapped. There is the Ariel, but immediately gets slept by the Deckard. Geo trying to go ahead and get out of there. Will Geo escape? The answer appears to be yes. And then Geo turns around. Alright, that's actually 2 for 1 kill. Special Chai super low. There is the healing. Thank you, for real.
The altars rise.
So this is a single altar phase. So, FC Hong Kong can't actually lose here, but they can lose if we combine this with Boss. Now keep in mind, this is coming up in 10 seconds, and we do have Tracer down for 26 seconds, Johanna down for 20. So this is going to be a fight for FC Hong Kong. A lot of damage on the Chopper, though. Chopper is out of the fight momentarily. We do have Splendid Daddy up nearby, looking for Junkrat. That was a mirror image. Arm coming in, looking at Calyrex. There's Boomer, the old man with the bonk stick, and that is going to be a kill onto Li Ming, but Boomer not going to survive either, as we do go ahead and have the Samuro comes in from the shadows. There's a taunt coming in. Splendid Daddy goes down, but so does the Junkrat. We are dead even. Here comes Tracer and Johanna into this 3v3. Cliff Sandwich trying, but Tracer not going to let that go in. A lot of damage coming in onto the Tracer. There is Dagny. Dagny looking for this. There we don't have taunt quite ready. Aram went in for it, but it wasn't there. There is Cliff Sandwich. Cliff Sandwich trying to get the turn in. Does not do so. There's quite a bit of damage. Tracer on top of the Cliff Sandwich. The bird goes ahead and pushes the Tracer off. Bunches and bunches of damage. There is the death of the chicken. Trying to go ahead and get into there. We are just about back with Deckard Cain. There is Geo. Geo getting knocked back. Dagny takes a bunch of damage. I don't think they can stay there. There's Tracer on top of Aram. Dagny goes ahead and gets taken down as well, I believe. Yes. And this, but unfortunately, after all of that fighting, we only go down to 24 core health. Triple the amount of what FC Hong Kong has at the moment, and they are looking at this bottom fort. There's a big old boop, boop, boop. Bunches and bunches and bunches of damages. All of the damages. So we do go and have the bottom fort going down. This is now making it much harder for POS to finish off. Oh my gosh, that was so much damage coming in for the Li Ming. The Li Ming just hit a full combo and boom. Oh my, Calyrex is playing out of their heckin' mind. Meanwhile, up here at the top, we do go and have the Samuro pushing in, trying to potentially move towards a 6 cap. Obviously, this is still standing strong, but bottom is converted. Top is more than 66% converted. If I wasn't always already on a team and I made a team, I would definitely have like Protectors of Shakuras. Like I would want to get in on this. I am such a StarCraft fan. Here is, they're moving in. They're trying to go ahead and get these sappers in there, get a little bit of extra damage. They do get the Junkrat down. Now they're trying to go ahead and not take the sapper damage. I think they do go ahead and knock the sapper down. But one sapper got in. They're now down to 23 core health. And at last, we've got this channel. I did not realize it was still up, or maybe this is a different one. Actually, maybe that was it. The sapper didn't go in. They just took 5 damage. This will take them down to 18. For me, at least, I try not to abbreviate teams' names, except for Yavapai. Yavapai, I will 100% just say Yavapai. I will not say their full name. No one's got time for that. All right, there's another great shield coming out. The bird goes down thanks to a Tracer. I've even got her up. What is it called? Pulse Bomb. There we go. Why do I have her up? Get out of here, Tracer. Now we do have Tracer going ahead and moving more of these sapper camps in the direction. Now the next camp will actually be this one in the middle, so it's only a single camp. I'm still surprised the boss is still sitting here. No one's gone for it yet. Hogger on his way down. We do have the sappers making their way. This is a potential 3 shots. It's very unlikely it will be all 3, but here comes potentially another 3. Really, really, really putting Protector of Shakuras onto the back foot, being like, okay, are you going to try and protect against these sappers, or are you going to try and go for the turn-in? It looks like the answer is they're trying to protect the sappers. There is the turn-in. Here's 5 shots coming through, knocking them down to 13 core health. I'm not sure I agree with the way that Protectors of Shakuras are fighting this. That's a very good gust. That is going to be very, very difficult to get out of. And there goes Ariel. Special Chai going ahead and takes down the Lightning Chicken. Actually recalls, kind of into danger, but will be okay. They're trying to go ahead and get into that, but yeah, that was a bit gutsy going into the Rain of Fire. And I think possibly FC Hong Kong just gave up a lot of their advantage. Because here's the thing, like, all 5 members were down here. Samuro was taking stuff over. They were nearly at the point to start shelling their opponents. But with them down, now thankfully this has not been announced yet, so these two together definitely do not quite represent any of the game. If this is both picked up by FC Hong Kong, they will do 12. But this will make it potentially Doom. Oh, this is a problem. Now, obviously, they're trying to get this taken care of, but we do go ahead and have, like, they need to convert this back immediately. There is just shots coming across. Yeah, they go ahead and burn that. They're like, we need to convert this. Okay, they only take 2 damage from the 6 cap, but that's still really bad because that's still 6 shots for every one of these altars that FC Hong Kong gets. There are 2 shots, taking the core of FC Hong Kong down to 2, but there are 6 shots coming in. Both teams, as of right now, are 1 core from victory. Or 1 altar from victory, let's use the correct term. Alright, now this is a 5 versus 4. FC Hong Kong have to be very, very careful. They are way, way too close, and Samuro is not here. Samuro does peel off the top camp. He says, okay, the top camp doesn't matter. We are 1 altar away from victory. Let's just get in position, take this altar. This will be a double altar phase, so that makes it extra tense. Now that is critical. At this point, it is 1 altar for Protectors of Shakuras to win, but FC Hong Kong will not win with a single altar at this point. So this is FC Hong Kong need to secure both of these altars or they will lose. Before it was kind of a case of whoever gets the altar first will win, but that is no longer the reality that we live in. Massive, massive, massive shield comes in. Everyone in one place. There is the fantastic Blade Storm coming through. That's going to be that is 2-0 in favor of FC Hong Kong. They are moving in. We do have Samuro at the top, Ariel at the bottom, trying to go ahead and channel this. I do not know. We do have death onto the Johanna. Special Chai is super, super, super low. That will go ahead and be the death of Chai. But it does not matter. Oh no, Ariel peeled off. There's the GG, and we do have this moving in. The winners of your series, the winners of Div E, or Div D, that's the div I'm casting, are going to be FC Hong Kong winning 3-1 here on Towers of Doom. Let me see if I can get us a heckin' interview. Um, all right, and with that said, let's go ahead and look at these stats right quick. Let's switch back to this computer. We do go and have number 1 damage, looking like it will be from Li Ming. 102,000 damage in this 23-minute game. 1 second. Sorry, I had to sneeze real quick. We have Tracer coming out with 76,000 damage in the course of the game, and then Junkrat does come in third, but comes in third with barely more than a half. Ah!
Hello, friend.
Hello, hello.
Hey, girl, hey.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Kind of an easy first question, but how you feeling right now?
Fantastic.
That
We,
Stressful
we have a-
games.
We have a great group of folks, and I've been doing this 15 seasons and never won our last playoff game, and so to do it with this group of very special people is fantastic.
Aw.
I love you.
Well, I'm glad to be part of it, even though I wasn't.
You were. You casted it.
But yeah, those games gave me a heckin' stress attack. Like, here's the thing. I'm going to say this, and I feel mean saying it, but I'm really glad for your sake that this was a best of 5 and not a best of 7, because it kind of felt like, as the series went on, like you were kind of dominant in the first game, and then you ended up losing it, and then the second game got a little closer, but you ended up pulling it out. The third game, you kind of like were very on top of it, and then this last game gave me a heart attack like 18 times.
Well, they're a very talented team, right? Like you said before we started, we were both a 1 seed, right? So you're not going to get anything for free against Protectors of Shakuras?
Yep.
Shinene? Shakuras.
Pronounce it like
Shakuras.
Shakira, but with the U.
Shakuras. There you go.
Protector of Shakira.
Yeah, they're not going to give you anything. You're going to earn every inch of ground that you get against them. We split with them right during the regular season. So, yeah, no surprise to us. We were prepared for it to be a fight.
Well, it certainly was. No doubt about that. Going back to game number 1 was the game on Infernal, because it kind of felt like you were slightly in the lead for most of the game, and then during a epic and like just felt like a 5-minute fight along top, you ended up catapults pushed down your mid lane, and then they just walked in. Did you guys change anything going into games 2, 3, and 4 after that experience?
So I
Needs to
think
say we told Gio not to int. Chai's got it.
Yeah, so like our big issue was we started to take a fight when we were in like siege mode, and the other team gutted us into a corner, ripped all of their R buttons. So we just like recalibrated, like got back into the space where we're like talking about what we're doing during the game, like what our comp is actually functioning. Like all of our Vala comps kind of like played the same way. We scale, we run over the game at level 20. And that's kind of like how our last comp worked too. As the game went on, we scaled. The Ming ended up being able to take all of Varian's health in a volley. So yeah, just control the game, get to where like we can actually take our fights.
Yeah, it definitely felt like Ontune Spider Queen was possibly the like you guys did a very good job controlling turn-ins. I think you got the first 2 turn-ins. But it very much felt like both teams were sort of roving the map and just running into each other into a series of bloodbaths. Did you have a hard time keeping up with where they were exactly? Because it kind of felt like it almost looked like submarines going across, where both of you were just being very careful not to stumble across the other one accidentally.
I think for that match, our eyes were either glued to the mini-map or glued to the nearest bush, because we were really on point with our danger calls and danger pings. Our communication, I think that game was probably the best of the series.
Yeah.
Like even in offlane, I'm kind of existing down there doing my own thing, and the amount of missing calls that I got was fantastic. It let me get away from way too many gank attempts.
And Gabe, you also are absolutely money on letting us know when they're rotating off, and that helps a lot.
Thank you, Gio.
I mean, I would add on that map, right? We wanted to play the submarine game because we got ahead, right? Like, and we just, there were a lot of call offs where it's like, yeah, we could take this fight, but we don't need it, right? And that map, we just kept going for gems, and we had the faster clear speed on our comp.
That makes so basically echoing. Geo, don't end. Back off.
Yeah, that was the lesson learned from that top push in game one, right? It's understanding what we're trying to do. We have a Tychus who's popped Odin. All we need to do, be a body in front of Tychus. We don't need me to dive, right? So when I dive, sure, we got a kill, and then I open myself up to counters, and then they chase the team down and they get a win. So it was honestly very useful that right after that game, Chai says, hey, look, thinking about how that went down, here's what happened. And I go, cool. Just remember, what are we trying to do, right? What's our posture? Are we trying to protect somebody safely? Are we safe sieging? Are we diving? Are we looking for kills? And that changes moment to moment, but all these folks are calling it out, constantly saying, hey, remember, this is what we're doing. And that helps a lot.
Definitely makes sense. Speaking of helping a lot, moving up into Battlefield of Eternity, I do have to say Battlefield of Eternity was probably the cleanest game you guys had. I think you ended up not actually letting them kill a single person. It came close a lot. Like, that was not a blowout game, but I feel like your coordination was just improving every time. Was there anything specific about that map that helped you, like, kind of flip the script over the bloodbath of the previous two engagements?
We had Helix on Lucio, I think.
Helix
was
on
the
Lucio's
script
insane.
there.
Yeah. I thought our game on Spider Queen was the game where we didn't die. I thought that we had like a couple of contested fights.
Yeah, we had a few deaths on BOE for sure.
Yeah,
Oh, did I get it backwards? Dang it.
that's okay. It's all good.
Yeah.
The games all run
I'll be
together.
honest, my brain is also scrambled after.
Yeah, it's been a
this
long
very
night.
intense match.
Happy almost midnight to all you East Coast people out here.
Oh, absolutely. Yep.
Their dive comp in that game, that BOE game, was like so
Super
scary. There were a couple of times
Really
where they were
strong.
like big nail biter fights where like
Mhm.
Lucio was booping people just off of target.
Mm-hmm.
So many, like there was one moment in particular where I have no idea how I lived. I had like half a hit point, and Lucio's in there like getting kills. It was sick.
I think I remember that fight too, and I was just that's one of those very awkward fights as a caster where I start to like wind up to be like, and this and this, and I'm ready to say okay, and then I'm waiting to say that this person dies, and they just never die, and I'm like, read the script, guys.
Guy, why didn't you die?
I was ready for it.
The amount of like damage they could output off of just one stun in that fight or in that match was also insane. With like a Hanzo scatter plus a Genji on that was really scary. The heals were insane. I mean, it made all the difference for us there.
Oh, 100%. And then this Towers of Doom, it was kind of like, because you 6-cap briefly got them down to 2 hits, and then they proceeded to take all 3 of their own forts back, actually moving you to a position where you had to double cap in order to stay alive. And you barely managed to, but my gosh, that last fight, I'm pretty sure if I had been in that game, it would have taken a couple of years off.
Yeah, there's no room for error, right? There's just none. And then we got one of them, they got one of us, and you hear like the ding dong, and you start thinking, wait, okay, are we winning or losing? And you hear another ding and then a dong, and you're like, what's happening?
I think that the hardest call in that game, because I did notice that Helix stopped channeling bottom in order to come out, and I don't disagree with the call, but my gosh, I do not know if I would have the confidence to do that, because like the thing I was so worried about is that they would split where they were engaging you, and try and give you 2 different fights at each of the 2 altars, but you can't lose either of them. So how hard was that call for Helix to be like, there's not here, I can get this for free, but I need to heal my team?
I think that was rough. I think in retrospect, if I could have redone it, I probably should have. I went to the cap on my own, and I think in retrospect, I should have stayed with everybody because Geo. I mean, it worked out in the end, but I don't think Geo needed to die for it.
But if he has to die for it, we'll take it.
Geo will
It's
take
fine.
dying over. Geo will take winning over dying any day of the week.
True story.
The-
I've been dying my whole life.
Mhm.
I mean, I
Very
would say,
slowly.
based on my Div E coaching expertise, so take this with a grain of salt, I would say sitting someone down there was not a bad call. I'm not sure it should have been the healer.
You right.
Noted.
But
I mean, with people dying, I'm tunneled on resets at that point. I don't even know anything else that's going on.
that's fair enough. But those are all the questions I had for you. Let me go and turn it over to you for any shout-outs you might want to give as the new Div D champions for Season 19.
Shout out to the
Not
team,
everybody at
right?
once.
Shout out
Start
to
from
the
the top.
shout out to the team. Like, it's been a pleasure playing with y'all this season. Everybody has really improved in huge leaps and bounds, like on every single role. Like, the team that we were at the beginning of the season is like light years away from where we are now. It's been fantastic. And also shout out to my wife Lynn, who may or may not watch this game later. We'll see.
What? You were waiting to see if you would win before you said you should watch this.
She didn't give her the twitch. Cal, what do you got?
Yeah, I mean, I would echo some of Chai, and I would add like this season was role changes, right? Like I went into this season with pretty not bad, but that hey, a lot of role changes, we might struggle, and Geo picking up tanks, Splinter picking up off lane, and now we're like by mid-season we were functioning and cohesive, phenomenal, right? I just wasn't expecting that going into it. I thought this would be kind of like a building season and not a we're doing this interview with you season.
Helix, who you got?
Shout out to the whole team. Shout out to you guys for picking me up this season. It's been really great getting to grow with everybody as a team. It's been a lot of fun. Shout out to Protectors of Shakuras. You guys put up a really good fight tonight. I'm very proud of you. And shout out to you, Graka, for casting. We appreciate you. And shout out to my husband, Luke. Hi, Luke.
Splenda, what do you got?
I also shout out Luke. Hi, Luke. Thanks for watching all of our games. And as everyone said, huge shout outs to the whole team. It's been amazing getting to do new things and feeling that kind of support from everyone, whether I'm just being a bulldog in the offlane and barking at you guys, or you guys telling me things going on. There's always communication, even on rough nights. Raka, thank you for casting many of our games this season. Protectors of Shakuras, great games. Some really, really fun matches in the offlane. Really good games overall. It's been an awesome season, and I can't wait for the next one.
Before we go off shout outs, gotta shout out Coach.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
big one for
So I was
Coach.
getting to echo everything that everyone just said. I would add the NGS board and all the volunteers, the people that make this happen so we can do this. And last and most, Infofox has started coaching us recently. The help has been incredible.
tremendous.
He's just so selfless with his time, so patient, insightful, says things in a way that even I can understand them, Raka. He's been truly tremendous. A special mention just to Helix has been absolutely tremendous addition to the team. Obviously, I love every team member, but we're very glad we added Helix this season. It was like an absolute magic add, perfect chemistry. She's phenomenal, fantastic. So that's it for me. I'd shout out my wife. She will never watch. Never. Never.
Well, the only other question I have, because you talked about this would be you expect this to be a little bit more of a struggle season. Now that you've won, it's very, very likely you may be headed back up to Div C. And you guys
Getting
did.
your asses kicked.
I was going to say,
Oh,
you
what
guys,
they won, Bob.
you guys didn't have the easiest time there last season. Is there anything you're planning to change this time around?
Incremental improvement. So the key for me is we cannot control wins or losses. We didn't control whether we won or lost tonight. We control our execution. So it's all about framing everything as like I can feel good about a loss and bad about a win depending on how we play. I feel good tonight because we executed on what we try to do. And that's all we can do next season. If people outskill us, they are going to beat us, right? But we can every single time try to learn something, get better at positioning, get better at order of execution, all that kind of stuff. So it's just a matter of reframing what a win is. We hope in 2-3 seasons that we're making it up and competing in the top of that div.
Damn right.
Well said. So, with that said, I'll go ahead and let you go enjoy the after party. Don't do anything I wouldn't do.
Appreciate you, Rocka. Now we go. I can't use that expression. We go do something and watch your VOD. The most self-indulgent activity ever. Go watch the VOD of the win you just had.
Well, don't stay up too late. I don't know if you guys have work in the morning.
Oh yeah.
Oh, no way to go to sleep now.
they're not gonna have the
jangly.
best version of me.
I'm buzzing.
Buzzing.
They're
Yeah.
not getting the best Geo tomorrow.
So, yeah, work from home tomorrow for me. Yeah.
Appreciate you. Good night, Rocka. Thank you.
Good night, good night.
Have a
Good night.
Right.
Night night.
And with that, NGS 1 is finished with our cast, but the Div B West finals are currently being played over at Toki B Stream. So we're going to go say hi because we can do that.